In June of 2023, I met Iman Gadzhi for the first time at his live mastermind in London. I asked him the one thing I always wanted to ask. One thing he told me blew my mind. And the crazy part, it wasn't about money, business, or anything you'd expect. It was something deeper. But before I get into that, let me take you back to when I first met him. It was June of 2023. Like many of you, I had been following Iman for a while, watching his content and seeing him build his empire. At that point, I had already made millions in profits myself and had the chance to attend one of his live masterminds in his core community, the GCC. I know what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, is Iman really the guy he says he is? Or is he just another guru playing the game? And why are people like me paying so much money just to spend an afternoon with him and his team? So let me answer all of that. Throughout this video, I'm going to walk you through a few key things. First, I'll tell you how I met Iman and give you an inside look into what his community is all about. Then I'll touch on the controversy, how he's getting a lot of hate with people calling him a scammer, why that might be, and what my raw take on that is. Next, I'll share the exact questions I asked him and the mastermind and the unexpected answers he gave me that changed how I view success nowadays. Not only that, but I'll dive deep into other two most impactful lessons I've learned from him and whether investing in his community was worth it. And finally, I asked my community to give me some questions about this whole topic. So stay tuned because it's about to get real. The beginning of 2023, Daniels, my videographer, and me, we are sitting in a shisha bar while we're having a tour through Germany for our business and trading community. And then he taps my shoulder while I was working on the phone and told me, look Miguel, Iman is posting about his own community and we need to apply for this. So quickly, I took my phone, I clicked the link and I applied for his GCC community. First of all, I had to fill in a big form with a lot of very deep and also private questions about how much money I make and all details around how much wealth and what I actually do and where people can find me, my social media, and a couple of other answers like how I got to know him. And a couple of days later, I was accepted for a Zoom call. This Zoom call was about an hour long where I've never felt that someone asked me so deep questions and really private questions, which I'm obviously okay with because Iman and his community is something I always wanted to get into. Iman, besides, let's say one or two other people, are really the key players that I watch content from and I look up to. Because you need to understand, me as a community founder of the largest trading community in Europe and soon in the world, I don't have a lot of people to look up to. I've become very successful studying some of the most successful people in general, having insane mentors and key leaders in the industry teaching me privately and personally, but especially when it comes down to e-commerce and social media / YouTube, Iman was the person to go to. And I wanted to finally join my first community because I've always built communities, but I've never been part of a community. So I went into this community with a bird's eye view of how you actually need to build communities. While this Zoom call was happening, questions like how much money I spend, how I'm going to use the concierge, how much I'm traveling, why should I become part of his group, what is the value I can bring to the table, and after an hour later, I was told that there's going to be another Zoom call. This second Zoom call actually was then held 2 or 3 days later, where I was instantly accepted into the community. And never in life I wired $10,000 faster than after I was accepted into this community. They made it so intensely and so well that I was so sold on this community. I instantly paid the 10,000 US dollars and I was accepted into the community. The very first thing I actually interacted with in this community was their Telegram channel. They had a Telegram chat where everyone was introduced. It was pretty empty and pretty new, but that was okay for me. I'm not here to chill around in the Telegram group because I'm busy enough. So the Telegram group was a side thing. Second of all, I got access to the Vault, which is basically or essentially the website where you can log into, you can connect with people, but also watch some courses. The first thing I did is watch the Bull Run course about crypto.
Welcome to Blockchain Billions.
Which was very short but very good, and I can validate that since I'm a 7 years trader. And then I proceeded further with this watch course, right? Iman has a watch course where he essentially speaks about how do you build relations with concierges, how you get the watches, and I'm definitely someone, especially at that time, was insanely interested in having watches, buying watches, and actually getting into a watch business, which I'm now also a part owner of a watch business that is very, very profitable. So yes, I had some benefit there, but beside that, these websites did not get updated, there was no value added, and nothing more interesting than that. So after watching these 2 courses, I did never ever use this website again. So yes, it is an insane community, but I felt like this is not done yet. It's something that is just starting, and I'm okay with that. But I feel in general that there could be more investment into really teaching the community. Especially Iman is the reason why people join. Yes, the community and the knowledge is second of that, but the most important thing is people want to be with Iman. They want to learn from Iman, they want to see him visible, they maybe want to have Zoom calls with him once a month. And I understand he's a very busy person, as I am a very busy person, but at least coming onto a Zoom call once a month to see your community is something that I would definitely do. But in general, I'm very happy with the community. I like the community, but there are definitely things you can do better, as always. And just in general, it kind of feels that this community is not so much the focus of Iman. But that doesn't matter, because I met people like Ali, who manages and basically is the CEO of GCC, of the Gents Croquet Club, which is this very talked about community. And he is an insane person. From the day one, I connected well with him. He was very welcoming. He manages all of it, and he dedicates his life, his resources, and his intelligence to run this place, and that's for what I'm very grateful. But I would definitely love to see Iman more and more visible and more accountable in these groups for what he already got a lot of hate. But this is not a video about me hating Iman or exposing anything. I'm just gonna give you my opinion, and I'm gonna be very honest, but there's nothing wrong to say about Iman and how he runs his businesses. Besides, recently, he got a lot of hate for being a scammer and people exposing him, actually saying that he never really built successful businesses, where I'm a little bit clueless too, because there's not so much proof on it. We cannot doubt that he is insanely successful, he knows what he's doing, and he is the absolute #1 in e-commerce, in business / YouTube right now. And that's what I focus on. I don't focus on the past, I focus on what people do right now. Hey guys, before we move into the video, I actually want to know what your experience is with gurus like Iman or coachings or gurus in general. Please don't hate, it's only about your experience. So put it below in the comments and let's go. As we just said, he's currently getting a lot of hate from people saying that he's a scammer. Why is that? And I think the main reason is because his past is a little bit untransparent. Yes, he always says there's videos of him being very young, but there's no numbers, no registrations, no book, no bookkeeping shared. And that is okay, because most people don't do that. And there's a reason why he's successful. But we can really don't follow up on that, and that's something that is pretty sad. Because I, for example, if people would doubt me in that sense, I would share this information. And I already, for example, did. But yes, sometimes you need to be careful regarding compliance, your ties, contracts, or what you're allowed to do and not. And I don't think we need to live in a world where everyone has to be transparent and share every little detail on how much money and the registration, things like that. But the lack of these registrations of his company that were exposed in these videos, and I saw these videos, kind of makes no sense, because there is truly no proof. If you would, for example, go into the register of South Germany, let's say Bodman or Radovce are the communes that I lived in, you would find my company, and probably you would find details. I don't even know, I need to check myself. I don't know how transparent it is, but you would find the registration of the company. And obviously, since you need to do bookkeeping, right, I have all of my incomes, I have all of my revenues from all of the 7-8 years, and I can show them if it's necessary, you know what I mean? So if he wants to combat this hate, why is he not just like cutting off the haters and muting them by actually just showing proof? I don't know if that's something he doesn't want to go down to, but I think that would be amazing and very transparent, because honestly, I also started to doubt a little bit if he actually was successful in the beginning. But that doesn't really matter. And don't get me wrong here, but in the sense of it is more important what the person does right now and why do you follow him right now for. I follow him because what he does, he's great in, especially value and marketing. No one can say that. And especially something that he does very well is branding. So I'm in it for that. I'm in it for the community, the branding, and understanding from his side as a very young, very successful, multi-millionaire, how he deals with life. Because once I started to make my first million, I was facing problems that no one really faces. And you can only ask someone that is young and makes a lot of money. And that's where it gets very difficult. I truly believe many times we even listen to music of artists that we privately don't like, but their music is good. I don't know if Michael Jackson was really a good person or not. I know there's a lot of hate and many people say he wasn't, but his music and his legend is insane. When I want to enjoy his titles or his music, I will enjoy it without asking myself the question if he was a good or a bad person. Sometimes in life, We need to value people for the product that they gave us, the information they give us right now, the inspiration. That is something that Iman definitely does, and we can really not argue against. When I met Iman for the very first time in London, I went to the meetup, which was basically in a very beautiful place. Kind of gave me a little bit of like British pub vibes. It was very dark, it was a restaurant, the food was very good and everyone was taken care of, but there was no real community interaction besides all the people that came to the meetup that sat there and were talking to each other, or groups of friends of people that all together were part of GCC that actually met and spoke. Iman was very introverted and very reserved, which is completely okay because that's his personality. That's why I went up to him. As soon as I came into the room, I locked his eyes in and I focused on him. I demanded his attention. I went up to him. I said hello respectfully. He stood up like a gentleman, shook my hand, and we talked for a little bit. Afterwards, we started eating. I sat right in front of him, a little bit to the left, next to two other guys, and I started to talk to them and introduce myself and make new friends and connections, because that's for what we attend these meetups. Now, I kind of felt Iman is not gonna interact with people really. Yes, he was walking a little bit and talking to people, but I understood he's very introverted and a little bit shy, which is completely okay. I'm also like that, I understand that. But I kind of felt, okay, there's not gonna be anything like he's gonna be introduced, or maybe he's gonna give a speech, or maybe he's gonna start to walk around. So I saw him go out, followed him, probably smoking a cigar, and I met him outside, started to talk to him and grabbed his attention because I felt most people were frightened to do that. So I started to talk to him. Daniels came over, my videographer, and he put the microphone on him and me, and we just started to randomly talk. So it was kind of inscenated by Daniels because Iman is very introverted, I'm very introverted, and then we started to record content together. And when we recorded content, he actually said one thing that taught me so much. I asked him why he founded GCC, why it's so important to have a community, and his answer was so amazing, and it was kind of not what I expected. So what he said was actually this one thing that I learned from him that really changed everything. So what he said was, having a community is important because if you do it alone, right? And having a wolf pack, he said essentially, which is funny because in the reel, and I will put the reel below so you can check it out, right? He said that you need a wolf pack of a couple of men that are as successful, rich, and good looking as you are, for example. Why? Because most people that are very wealthy and rich, they may be alone or they have friends that are not. And he said traveling and having a lifestyle, an expensive lifestyle in general, obviously costs a lot. You know, he made examples of how much money you spend on this yacht or traveling to this place, hundreds of thousands, 50,000. And if you can divide it with, let's say, 5 friends that are your wolf pack, your inner circle, you can divide the cost and you can do even more amazing things you can leverage. But at the same time, it's very difficult to find friends in this space. It's difficult because you need to find people that are as wealthy as you are, they are as smart as you are, and they are not. And that's very important what he said, and kind of laughed about it. And it made perfect sense for me, is that you need men that are not weird around women. Because most men that have money, or most people that have money, are geeks. They are weird around women, they don't know how to talk, they don't know how to interact, they don't know how to be professional about life, they're not very competent, and when it comes to safety, they need babysitters. I want to be with men that are as successful as I am, not weird around people in general, but especially women, right? Because that's just creepy. They can cut the cost by all of us sharing the cost of private jets, travels, whatsoever. And at the end of the day, you need like-minded people where you feel like you have a community and you have people in your wolf pack, in your inner circle, that you can also learn something from. Because once you are very successful, you kind of become the wallet to the people around you. You're constantly carrying people on your shoulder just so you do something and you don't do it alone, because something alone sucks, but you need to invite your whole team, you need to pay for them, right? In general. So having a wolf pack is this one thing that he taught me, which I started to focus on way more and attend way more communities. That's also why I became part of Luke Belmore's Gem Hunters, and at the end of the day, getting into more community networking, especially with high net worth individuals, people in my age that are also very, very successful, but also are competent and are not creeps around women and people in general, and actually are professional and people I can trust and people that are smart, because that's something that is insanely difficult to get and to find. And with these people, you need to fill in a core loyal group, which can be called your wolf pack, which again is very funny because my leadership is called Wolfpack. For me, it's a little bit different in my business because it's a community business essentially, and I have my Wolfpack, but he was 100% right, and it changed my view. Success alone sucks. Success with people is better, but not if you have to carry them. So success with like-minded people that are also successful and that are professionals and are well-spoken, well-traveled, and are professionals, and essentially professionals meaning being people you can rely on in any endeavors and in any mission, is something you need. I was always so focused on just becoming successful that I did not really focus on that I need a group of people that are as successful as I am or even more successful. As you know, there is this cliche sentence which is, you should never be the smartest in the room. So that really changed how I see life and how I really let people into my inner circle. If they are loyal, I can trust them, and if they're people that are professional and actually not creeps. Because if you are successful, good looking, and you can speak well to people, not only women, but especially people, and forge good relationships and connections, right? Without being a geek and scaring anyone off because you're a weirdo, right? That is important, because if you are not that, but you have people around you that are that, they will still scare people away. And people around you say more about yourself than anything you say about yourself to them, right? I truly have to say that his community was a very, very good investment. I got to meet very nice people that I'm still connected to. I got a lot of information that changed my situation. I met someone that I look up to, someone that I get inspired by, which is Iman Gadzhi. And it makes it easy for me now to be part of his community, to connect and re-meet him in a couple of months at his private mastermind, because he's definitely a person you should look up to. He's definitely a person you should learn from. Take from everyone what is good. What I mean by that is every community, any person, any mentor, they will have flaws. Don't focus on the flaws to get rid of the positive. Focus on the positive and understand how you can be flawless by understanding their flaws. That's what I say when you join a community of a mentor. No one is perfect. No one will be perfect. There will always be flaws in general, but focus on the good stuff. Take the positive stuff, take the good stuff, take the good investments he does, take the information, the inspiration, the quality, whatever you want to take from him, and leave the bad stuff behind and do it better. I would definitely say that Iman is not a scammer. He is very, very smart. His past maybe is questionable and he could be way more transparent. He has his reasons for doing it or not doing it, but I always say take from the person the best and leave the flaws behind, because everyone has flaws. I think meeting people like Iman definitely comes with a certain rational understanding of yourself and how successful you are, and if you are ready to meet these kind of people. I felt ready to meet Iman. I felt so ready that I walked into the room with 50, 60 people, and the first thing I did is going up to Iman, introducing myself, where most people would be scared, because I don't put people on a pedestal. I'm not a geek. I'm not someone that is weird with people that are successful. I am at their level. They're just a little bit further in other levels. So I can learn from them, but they can also learn from me. So you will feel ready to meet these people, and you should definitely do that. Is the life of Iman and me a life without problems? Definitely not. We are people that are very successful in what we do, and we have more problems than anyone else. But that's also why we are so successful, because the more problems we solve, the more money we make. And I think Iman could focus a little bit more on solving problems in his community, but I also understand he has many other businesses. He gave us a great gift, which is connecting a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and people like me can come into his community and get to know a lot of very successful entrepreneurs. Talk with them, make business with them, learn from them, connect, and make lifetime friends, as I got 2 lifetime friends at this London GCC meetup, which is Mario Jr. and Mario Sr. Amazing people. Just recently met them in Austria. I'm going to revisit them at the end of the year for some skiing. And I met these people in the London meetup, and if I wouldn't have gone there, I would have never met these 2 beautiful people, smart people, successful people, and friends. If people want a life like Iman or mine, where I definitely have to say he's way ahead, but the thing is that we have an insane lifestyle, we travel a lot, we basically do whatever we want. I think you can have that too. If you follow people like us, you take our information, you take our value, you act up on it, you reflect and you see if it works for you, you become part of these communities by networking with these people, but become part of a community once you feel ready to connect. If you have no value to bring to the table, if you don't have the normal skills of actually connecting and talking to people, then I wouldn't say that this is a community where you should train that. Maybe you should go to network events that are cheaper or communities that are free, that you can learn on how to communicate with them, and then come prepared as a successful person that actually can bring value to the table and then connect with so successful people as Iman or I, because we need to be and we want to be with people that are as successful as we are, or a little bit more, or a little bit less, or way more. That doesn't matter. But value likes value, and successful people attract successful people, and success hangs around success. If you are not valuable, you are not successful yet, but you somehow manage to get into these communities because you put all your money together, then it makes no sense, right? It's better than nothing, but come prepared. Some people are just very good in talking and they can provide value because they have a lot of knowledge. Then you should definitely come to these kind of events. But following Iman or my content is completely for free, and you should definitely do that because it's immense value, and people show that by the likes and the views, especially when it comes to Iman. And you want to be around people that you look up to because they are more successful. Because the easiest way on how to become successful is by being around mentors, studying them. And I studied Iman, and I think he's a great person. He's a big inspiration, and respect is due where respect is due. He could be more transparent, he could be focusing more on his community, and he could be someone that addresses these problems a little bit more. But that is okay, because everyone has their flaws. Not everyone is perfect, but what he's good in is marketing, branding, and inspiring people, and that's what I take out of his community, and it benefits my life.